everyone, Attorney Davis Younts here. Listen, I wanted to provide an update on how things are going within the Department of War with the no more walking on eggshells policy. So here's the recap for those of you who have been following this. Secretary Hegseth issued a policy called the No More Walking on Eggshells policy. It had to do with IG complaints, EO complaints, and other types of administrative investigations within the military system that have been destroying good leaders throughout the military and the impact that's had. So big picture throughout my careers, throughout my time as a JAG and also as a defense counsel, I have seen some of the best combat leaders I've ever worked with be destroyed. It can be death by 1,000 cuts through frivolous administrative investigations, IG complaints, and other things that have ruined careers. It's really been a huge problem, and it's been a little bit of, prove you're innocent, a presumption of guilt rather than a presumption of innocence in these administrative investigations. They're really, and they can be due process light, so it can make it very difficult to effectively respond to these investigations without hiring an attorney, without having someone experienced to defend you. So we've seen this as a huge problem. Secretary Hegseth comes in, he issues policy, and he's issued more detailed guidance since he had his big meeting with the generals to try to bring accountability and balance to what happens administratively to service members. Now, before you get concerned and say, okay, but IG complaints are important, the EO process is important, part of the reason it's been broken, part of the reason we've had issues with actually getting legitimate IG complaints or EO complaints investigated is because the system is overwhelmed with people who are serial complainants or people who just want to avoid accountability for their own actions and file an IG or an EO complaint whenever they're held accountable, whenever they're told they have to take a PT test, whenever they're told they're overweight or fat, and they file an IG or an EO complaint. If a leader makes them sad because they tell them they have to show up to work on time in the military, and yes, these are all real examples, real investigations that have occurred, people that we've had to help because of this. When you have an overburdened system, the system breaks down. So that's why this is so important. So absolutely, I agree with this policy. I agree with the direction that Secretary Hegseth is heading. And it's really important because it does two things. It helps protect the rights of military members. It helps protect good leaders and good service members from death by 1,000 cuts in these administrative investigations. But the other thing that's so critically important is it takes this overburdening that's been on the system so that legitimate investigations can be done, so that legitimate problems can be addressed through EO and IG without destroying the system by overburdening it. So where are we at now? What are we seeing? It's still hard to tell, unfortunately, how this policy is going to be played out and how it can be used. But what I can tell you is just last week, we had an Air Force major that we represent that was facing about 7 different allegations in one of these administrative investigations. The IO, with our help, the IO found that none of the allegations were substantiated. There was no evidence to support them. And based on a preponderance of evidence standard, all of them were found unsubstantiated, and the entire investigation was dismissed with no adverse action for our clients. So I'm going to take that as a positive, right? I'm going to take that as a positive step in the right direction. I'm going to take that as this policy from the Secretary of War is making a difference. It is making a change, and that we can achieve meaningful due process for our clients and for our service members. And it matters. Let me just tell you, not only does accountability matter, but actually having administrative systems that work for the soldiers, that work for the airmen, the sailors, the Marines, the Guardians. All of that is so critically important. It impacts morale, it impacts discipline, it restores trust in the system, and it allows good leaders to hold people accountable. So Secretary of War still has an uphill battle. There's still a lot of bureaucratic inertia. There's still a lot of malicious compliance going on throughout all levels of the service, but we are headed in the right direction. This is encouraging. This is encouraging for our clients with so many people that we represent who are facing these administrative investigations. I am optimistic that if we approach them the right way, we use our experience, our training, and we respond appropriately, and we cite these new policies that are being issued by the Secretary of the War, we will continue to see great results for our clients, and that has a lasting positive impact on our military. So thanks for watching this video. Please make sure you follow us, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as follow me. It's just Davis Younts on X. Thanks for watching. Take care.